So welcome to this special edition of ABN Cast. Today, for the next 25 minutes, half an hour or so, we're going to preview one of the biggest, probably one of the biggest events, annual events in aviation per se, which is the Aircraft Interiors Expo, which takes place in Hamburg every year. It's an event that we obviously go to as Aviation Business News, in particular with our magazine, Aircraft Cabin Management. And I'm delighted that Archana Dharni has joined me. She's the event director for AIX and also for the Passenger Experience Conference, which takes place the day before in the Hamburg venue. Archana, thanks for joining us on ABN.
Thanks, Lee, for having me. Great to be chatting with you.
So this is only your second year as event director of AIX, but I understand you know the show very well because you've been involved in the catering trade show, which happens over the road in the same venue. So just explain a bit about your background and your relationship with AIX.
So I've been working in organising trade shows for 20 years now, but previous to taking on Aircraft Interiors Expo, I was actually the event director for World Travel Catering and Onboard Services Expo, which is our co-located event. And I delivered, I think, 9 editions of that event. Okay. So yes, this is now my 13th year of coming to Hamburg, second year of running Aircraft Interiors Expo myself. But yeah, very familiar with Hamburg, with the industry, with our partners. So yes. Yeah. Hopefully my knowledge comes across during this conversation.
And the upcoming edition is a special one because it's one of those sort of special birthdays, I guess. It's 25 years of AIX.
Well, it's actually our 25th edition, actually.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
The reason for that is purely because of the COVID years. So we had 2 years where we didn't run a physical event. So yeah. Numbers wise, but yes, 25th edition, very excited and a real milestone for us to be marking.
Yeah. So what are you doing this year to mark that 25th edition milestone?
So we have a couple of activations going across the event. We first of all want to flag and identify and celebrate a number of our exhibitors who have been with us for the last 25 editions, which is, great that we're able to celebrate that success. It shows the loyalty, it shows the value that the show has driven for these particular customers. So definitely looking at focusing on that. We host on the Monday evening after our Passenger Experience Conference a party. And our party this year will be around celebrating 25 editions, of Aircraft Interiors, and inviting the industry to come and celebrate AIX and kick off a great week in Hamburg and continue for hopefully what will be another 25 years.
And do you have many exhibitors that have been with you for all 25 then? You've got good loyalty?
I've actually just finalised the list. So we've got 10 in total. Yeah. So Collins, obviously different iterations of Collins, but we've had Collins Aerospace with us for 25 editions.
The big seat manufacturers have been around a long time.
They have indeed, yeah. So we've got Botany Weaving Mill, Lantal Textiles, Percival Aviation, to name a few. So yeah, it's really, really exciting to be able to mark the 25th edition with these companies as well.
Yeah, it might be my fourth. I joined the business I work for now 3 years ago. So, and it was one of my first, I think probably the first conference or trade show I attended. And I guess from an outsider's point of view, when you come into it for the first time, you think, oh, it's about aircraft cabin. It can't be that big an event. But actually, you walk in, there's 6-7 halls full of exhibitors.
We're just at AIX. We are 8 halls.
8, yes, okay.
And then if we include everything that we have with WTCE, we're 11 halls.
Yeah.
So combined, it's have your comfortable shoes on to be walking around.
You get your steps up, there's no doubt.
You do.
But when I guess you must talk to people outside of the industry, just in your sort of personal life, about what you do, and you have to explain what it is that you do. How do you explain what AIX is to someone who is to the uninitiated?
When I first started working on these events many moons ago, exactly that. How do you describe what happens in Hamburg? What do we deliver across Aircraft Interiors and WTCE? And the best analogy that I was able to to use was, if you have an empty cabin, everything that is nutted and bolted in that cabin, seats, toilets, lights, carpets, everything that is nutted and bolted in, galley equipment, everything, that is what you source at Aircraft Interiors. And if we were to flip that aircraft over, and everything that would fall out, so your food, your snacks, your trays, your amenities, your blankets on board, that is what you would source at World Travel Catering and Onboard Services. And that just really resonates with people when you're able to explain and differentiate what the difference across the two shows is, and also what you get in the cabin. It really is, you have an empty cabin and everything that you possibly could want to fit and create. And for that full encompassing passenger experience within the cabin, you're able to source at Aircraft Interiors and World Travel Catering and Onboard Services.
Yeah, it is that absolutely unbelievable almost wide diversity of products that are on show that really sort of does get you when you first come to the show, because you don't really appreciate the amount of stuff that goes into an aircraft cabin. And at the same time, nothing goes into an aircraft cabin that hasn't been properly certified, gone through a very rigorous process. So the companies that come to AIX are extremely professional in what they do, because they have to be, and they can't just turn up and say, "Oh, we've got this product, put it on your aircraft." It's a highly regulated industry, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's where, it's, that everyone that you're going to be meeting or whoever's showcasing a product has got a certified, verified product that can go on board. And that when you're coming, you're really looking for those true solutions and innovations that will help drive the aircrafts of the future, or looking at the retrofit or any project that you're working on to be able to really support you on your project.
And when you talk to people in the industry about AIX, I think it's the case. I don't know there's another event like it globally, is there? I can't think of one where you do so much or purely about the cabin. And it is the one where the big airline bosses from around the world will make sure they're at every year.
Absolutely. And I think that's where our complete niche of what we do is, it's everything within the cabin. You have the air shows, but that covers so many elements and aspects of the aircraft, whereas we're looking at, and I think that's where we completely classify ourselves as Aircraft Interiors is for both commercial and the business aviation. Everything that is for cabin interiors, you will be able to source at Aircraft Interiors Expo.
Yeah, it's your second year. You said you're getting used to the other side of the road in Hamburg, as it were. Are there particular parts of the show that you get quite excited about seeing? Personally, I like a lot of it because it's a big eye opener, especially the new seats that you see there. But I quite like the tech area, so you can see Panasonic always come along with something new to showcase the IFE and the connectivity. That seems to be quite a cool area. Do you have areas that you look forward to seeing? What the innovations are each year?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think what's really relatable when you're running this event or being part of it is, at the end of the day, we're all the end users. So we understand what the product is. We understand, what value it's driving or what the future of the cabin would look like. And, the seating, the different kinds of seating that are available. It's always so great to see the innovation that all those great seating manufacturers are creating. And there's so many layers to it. You see the stands, and there's so much that goes on, not just with the economy, but then business, and then the first, and exactly like you said, the IFX side of things, what's happening, how is that evolving, and how is tech that weaving through the cabin now, how is that enhancing the passenger experience? And that's very much what I think I enjoy, and I think it really drives the value of what we do at Aircraft Interiors, is being able to see all of those products in person. It's not online. You're actually being able to really come and look, touch, feel these products and see the innovations.
It's the touch and feel aspect of it. Some of this stuff will be almost impossible to get across on a platform like this, I guess, that we're speaking on now. And I was going to say, you mentioned before you had a couple of years when you couldn't run AIX because of COVID, and nobody could run any events during COVID. They came back with a bang, I think, after COVID. You've been in events a long time, and getting people together is a key part of what you've been doing for more than 13 years. So what is it about getting people together, apart from obviously you can touch and feel the product? There's also also opportunities for people to get together and network, isn't there? This is what's
absolutely. And I think, when we speak to our customers, not just our exhibitors, but the airlines that attend, it's very much about the networking, meeting, touching base with existing suppliers, with new suppliers, with colleagues from across the globe. Everything that happens that week around Aircraft Interiors Expo, it creates a whole ecosystem. It brings global teams together. They use it as a platform and an opportunity to be able to look at projects that they're working on together, looking at, like we said, the actual product. And it's not just a Teams call where you're discussing it. You're actually being able to come and have real tangible conversations and, look at how you're driving the next step of what you're working on forward, or, whatever the future of your projects are. And I think the networking side is really key, and having those opportunities to do that and meet with suppliers. And we know across the industry, they have various different touch points where they go to meet them and they're on site. But being able to do that in a setting in 3 days is very, very unique.
Yeah, you can get around a lot of people in that 3 days, can't you?
Absolutely.
People are also there to do some business, and I know the big expos do try and track the amount of business that is done on the show. Sometimes it may be difficult to attach that bit of business to that particular show, but it does clearly make business happen. When you do look at this, what do you see happening? Is there a lot of business transacted at the show?
It's not like the air shows where we're doing big announcements, X number of aircrafts ordered, etc. But we, as you rightfully mentioned, there's a number of C-suite execs that are attending. They are looking at the cabin. They are having those final sign-off meetings on certain elements of the interiors of the aircraft, or launches happen between, announcements happen, that people are waiting for the opportunity to do these announcements, to encourage customers to come and see these products. And that's where I think that the real value lies as well, is seeing those innovations. The conversations happen throughout the year, the touch points with the customers. As you said, it's so niche and everyone has suppliers based on the type of aircraft. But equally, it's how do we keep enhancing our supplier list? How do we see the innovations that are happening? And actually, my team and I are in the midst of having calls with a number of our what we classify as our HVVs, or high value visitors that come to the show, that come under our VIP badging. And it's really, really interesting to hear what they're coming to the show to source, who they're coming to meet, how they plan their schedules with their teams. This is not something that they just rock up to a trade show and go, who are we seeing, what are we doing? This is months of planning. Diaries are already filled. Diaries have been filled for months. So they're coming with real business objectives of what they're going to be driving and achieving while they're there for those, 3-4 days. Because they're maximizing it. It's hard enough to get out of the office nowadays as it is. So when you're there, you really want to be maximizing your time, meeting with the industry, meeting with your colleagues, doing that network, seeing those products, and being set up to go away until the next year and to be able to complete your projects and do it all again in 2027.
And it's always changing as well. I understand. I think this year there's always some new innovations. There's always new areas that are coming up. I think there's a BizAv area new for this year.
There is, absolutely. So we have BizJet Interiors is something that's always been part of Aircraft Interiors Expo. We have, I think over 99 existing exhibitors who already showcase not just commercial, but business BizJet Interiors products as well. But equally, there's a number of customers and companies out there where there's a real, they want a platform to be able to come and show their products and not get lost maybe on so much in the commercial side, or maybe they don't service the commercial side as well. So it's been something that we've been looking to launch for, well, since we come back from COVID, but we really wanted to make sure that we were able to drive value and have the right exhibitor audience exhibiting as part of this zone. It's the BizJet Interior Zone is taking place in B1 lower. So it's a dedicated zone where we have a number of exhibitors, so Jet Aviation, GoGo, Fokker, Signature Plating. So really, Townsend Leather, great companies in that space that are able to really showcase their BizJet interior products. And we're really excited to be able to launch this zone, but also encourage everyone to go and look at the other suppliers that are across the show floor as well. And I think this also talks about the wider interiors that we just mentioned. We're Aircraft Interiors is not just for commercial aviation. We do have a high penetration of BizJet attendees at the show, and now to be able to give them a dedicated zone with that supplier base is really exciting for us for 2026.
Yeah. People also come to hear about new developments, to debate and discuss, to sort of get involved in thought leadership, which is what the Passenger Experience Conference allows people to do on the day before the actual trade show opens. So what's going on with the Passenger Experience Conference this year? What can we expect?
Yeah, it's really exciting. So we've got a number of, well, we run a whole day of sessions. We kick off with a plenary session where we have a number of C-suites talking about the innovations within the cabin. This year, we have over 20 airlines also speaking, giving real tangible, case studies that, learnings can be taken from ideas, suggestions. We really encourage discussions to take place. We then once we have the plenary, we go into 3 breakout streams. So we're focusing on, real topics, sustainability, accessibility, tech within the cabin. So all of these streams that we run, we're looking at making sure that we've got a real diverse set of topics that are being covered and speakers, so that people who are coming to the Passenger Experience Conference are walking away with real takeaways and being able to enhance their knowledge and set them up for a great week at AIX.
Yeah. And how many people would you expect to get this year then? What's your hope?
Across PEC or Aircraft Interiors?
AIX and Tokyo.
AIX.
Yeah.
So collectively, we have almost 15,000 people in the halls across those 3 days.
Yeah. And having been in Hamburg so often down the years, you know Hamburg very well. I know there's lots of the companies will do parties in the evening and take advantage of some of Hamburg's sort of venues. What just tell us a bit about what Hamburg's like as a city to host such an event.
Oh, Hamburg's a great city. I wish I had more time to, for the amount of time I spend there, I actually don't get to spend enough.
See much of it, no.
But yeah, as a city, it's great. I mean, it's a lovely part of Germany. Just for example, even the venue being in the middle of the city is a real treat rather than being on the outskirts. Even taking advantage of the Plantenblume, which is opposite the venue, to get a bit of spring fresh air. That's lovely. There's the lake right in the middle of the city, lots of great restaurants. I think it's a great city to be able to host a great event. And we have a lot of partners that we work with very closely within the city as well, that support us with Aircraft Interiors. So I think it's a great city, especially with having the likes of, it's the back door, it's the home of Airbus and a lot of our other great suppliers as well.
I was going to say, many of the German cities are hubs for aviation.
And Hamburg is, I think it's the 3rd biggest aviation hub in the world. So it absolutely makes sense for Hamburg to be the home of Aircraft Interiors Expo.
Yeah. What for just final question before we wrap up, but for an events organizer such as yourself who've done a number of different events, what are the big challenges for the organizers themselves in this day and age? I know these things, they do cost a lot to attend, so you have to make sure you drive good value back to those exhibitors, particularly the people taking substantial stands. So what keeps you awake at night when you're organizing these events in the build up, because until it's happened, you can never be sure it's going to go
I think
absolutely to plan.
I think where exhibitions, and why I've been in it for so many years, it's one of those things that no matter what, at 9 o'clock on that Tuesday morning, those doors are going to open. So,
Yeah.
you know, the show has to be built, the carpet has to be done. Everybody has to be there from the team, not even just from the suppliers or the visitors. And with that, there comes challenges, but with that comes real excitement and drive. And anyone that I speak to, even if they are the organizers of the booths that are being built, stands that are being built, that's a real, you know, it's a really unique place to be. You know, we don't work in a world where in tech you don't, or software, you don't see the product. When you work in live events or exhibitions, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything gets seen. Global pandemics happen, workarounds have to take place. And so there's never a dull moment when you run a trade show, that's for sure.
No.
You know, so anything could be thrown at us, but there's always a solution. And I think that makes you very resilient and keeps you driven and makes it a really exciting place to be.
I've been into AIX on the day of setup, last day of setup, with, you know, high vis, which you have to wear because of health and safety. Because there's literally things going up. There's literally things being built all around, aren't there? And you look and you think, this is opening in sort of 12 hours, and it looks like a million miles
and
off.
then, like,
it's remarkable.
The cleaning ferries come in the middle of the night.
Once you see the Hoovers come out, you know you're nearly there, because that's the last job to do. Just give the carpet a quick once over. But it must be quite high adrenaline, seat of your pants sort of stuff, because you think, oh, how on earth are they going to get this ready to open?
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, that final walk around I do at like 11 o'clock on the Monday night is okay, the carpet's down, or exactly that. The Hoovers are on, and doors will be open at 9 a.m. Well, the doors, you know, for us, the doors open way before 9 a.m. But absolutely that. It's exhilarating, but stressful at the same time. But,
which must make 5:30 on the final day a great moment to breathe.
Absolutely. And that's the time that, as a team, that we like to toast the success of what everyone's worked incredibly hard to deliver. Not just for those 3 days, but for the whole year. I'm very fortunate to have a great team by my side to pull this event together. And
then how quickly does the planning for next year start? What do you get a chance to actually sort of celebrate success?
Silly. I'm already in 2027.
Right. Non-stop.
It's non-stop indeed.
Well, look, we are, as ever, really looking forward to being there again this year. Like you said, it's always a very busy 3 days for us, running around the 8 halls, and we'll tend to spend some time over in the catering event as well on the other side of the road, your old stomping ground. So thanks for bringing us along as media, and we look forward to seeing you in Hamburg in due course.
Yeah, we look forward to having you and your team and the whole industry in Hamburg in less than 6 weeks. So we'll speak to you soon.
Quickly.
See you there.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Lee.
Thanks a lot.